guys, it's Lawrence Presman, the Prez. You're watching Puck Time, and what a day today. 4 videos, 3 are already up, 2 are already up at WagerTalk.com, plus this one as you're watching it, and then the NFL presidential address, taping it tonight. On the slate today for me, Puck Time, Betting Edge. Betting Edge was awesome, a must-watch show with Tony Finn and Drew Martin. And the college football betting show with Dave Koken and Teddy Covers, all up at WagerTalk TV, our YouTube channel. We're just about to pass 41,000 subscribers to our YouTube channel. Cannot thank you guys all enough. As a thank you to everybody, as we've been telling you all week, we have lowered our prices at both Sports Memo and WagerTalk for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to $9 every single package at WagerTalk and Sports Memo from Thursday to Monday will only be $9. Let's bring in the boys. Andrew, you had a trip to Boston. How did it go?
Hey, Prez, yeah, it was a great trip. Never really do long road trips like that. It was about a 12-hour drive total. Got there and just had a great time for 3 days straight. Went to the Bruins game Saturday night. Got to see a 4-2 comeback. The Bruins were down 2, ended up winning 5-4 in OT, so that was great. I went to the Cowboys versus Patriots game Sunday. Froze my ass off, but no regrets on the experience. Happy I got to see the game. First NFL game for me. And then drove home yesterday. Didn't get home until 1 a.m. This morning. So overall, trip of a lifetime. Great time with some close friends, but like you and I were saying off air, it's always a good feeling to be home. So
trip of a lifetime. You know, life is easy when your levels of trips of a lifetime is hopping into a car and driving to Boston. Exactly. I'm literally about to go to Zermatt. But you know what? I have higher standards for myself, so I'm actually jealous of you that you can believe a trip to Boston is a trip of a lifetime.
Well, my lifespan's been a little bit shorter than yours so far, so that's my trip so far of my lifetime.
Yeah, and you are 21 or 22 or some ridiculously young age. Alex, how are you, brother? Happy Thanksgiving to you, Alex. What are you doing this weekend?
I will be watching a ton of sports. I'll be cooking some food. I'm just sticking it around here in Minnesota. I'm not flying back home until Christmas time, so it's just going to be basically a shut-in. Literally shut in because we're about to get about 9 inches of snow here. So I'll be cooking some food and just hanging out with myself and watching a bunch of games, hopefully winning some money for myself and the client.
A lot of Coke?
Yeah, I got some pop.
You got a case? You got a case? Please tell me you got a case.
Case of pop. I got a bottle of whiskey and I got a 12-pack of beer. So all ready to go.
And you know, whiskey and Coke do go.
They do. I don't like to mix
like
them together. I like to keep my pop separate from my booze. I like to keep my booze straight.
Yeah, I don't like Jack and Coke myself. I find it too sweet. It's got like a cherryness to it. But hey, to each his own. Guys, real quick, it's $2 Tuesday over at WagerTalk.com. Dwayne Bryant's on a 9-1 college basketball totals run. He is our $2 Tuesday, so head over to WagerTalk, check him out. And also, I took $400 off of his entire college basketball season and playoffs. Guys, $400 off. You can use the promo code DB595. Boys, let's just allow me to lament for a second. Man, I've been rolling in hockey, just rolling. I won 2 on Saturday, and then I released the New York Islanders last night on a 5% play. I thought it was a tough spot for Anaheim. And the New York Islanders outshot them 17-4 in the first period. They hit goalposts. They hit gloves that were in the way of an empty net. It was total domination, and then they went and lost the game 3-0, although it was 1-0 right up until the end. I lost my 5% play. I was utterly gutted, man. Like,
Oh. That's a tough one to lose. Like you said, you know, that happens. It seems like quite often where you get, you know, some games where teams outshoot the other team, but like I said, it's goalposts and you get sticks and gloves in the way, and the puck, you know, bounces opposite of your favor. But you know, hopefully more often than not, those will turn around and end up being wins.
3 games today. Let's get to them. Right off the bat, Montreal hosting Boston, and Montreal 11-7 record. This Boston team, though, they've only lost 3 games in regulation. They're just so good. It's literally a pick'em game in this spot with an over and under of 6. Andrew, I know you're a Habs fan. It disgusts me, but it is what it is. Boston's won 3 in a row. The Habs have lost 4 in a row, which really is a cause for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Prez, I was getting chirped pretty hard by some people because I was at a Bruins game, cheering the Bruins on as a home team playing against Minnesota. And now, ironically enough, their first game when I'm home now is against my favorite team, so I'll be cheering against them, obviously. But, what I learned from being at that Bruins game is they had some defensive issues. They had some troubles, and one of the guys that stuck out for me was Torrey Krug. Didn't really look like himself at all. He ended up scoring that game winner in overtime, but gets back from injury. He scores on his own net. A couple defensive lapses for the team, and it also really proved to me that Boston really relies on their power play because they were probably in the penalty box. I think it was close to 16 or 18 minutes in that game, and that didn't really give their offense a chance to settle in at all. Their defense didn't look too good, but when they turned it on, they turned it on. I always say the Bruins have depth, but it actually proved to me in that game that they do rely on those top scorers to kind of get things going and charge the team up. So we're seeing Patrice Bergeron was actually announced out for this game now in the pick'em spot against Montreal. And when I look at that, I think about back to last game that I saw. They need forwards that are 200-foot players. They need their consistent goal scorers to be in the lineup because, like I said, their depth forwards haven't always been there recently for them. And we're seeing Yaroslav Halak in nets, which is, I like that move because I think we can all agree that the Boston Bruins probably have one of the best, duos of goaltenders. So Halak, to me, is probably just as good, maybe a little bit less skilled than Rask. But I'm looking at the under 6.5 in this one. I really do think the Habs are going to have to keep things low scoring, although they've been scoring better this year than last year. Their identity is still going to be banking on Carey Price, trying to grind teams out, and then win the lower scoring, 3-1 hockey games. So I'm staying away from the side in this one, but I do feel like the Bruins will try and sharpen things up, stay out of the box, play a defensive side of hockey. And like you said, Habs with a pretty good record in the season, but have not looked good recently against some teams like, Columbus, Ottawa, and New York that aren't really the best teams. So I'm going to go with the under 6.5 in this one, Prez.
I'm not with you there at all, my friend. Alex, I like the over in this game. Montreal's gone over 4 of their last 5 games. The Bruins 2 of their last 3. I think 6 is a low number. I could see this game at minimum pushing on 6, but I like the over here.
Yeah, it's a tough one because you look at the series history, 8 of the last 10 meetings have gone under the total.
Yep.
Like I said, these two teams right now trending to the over. It seemed to be a tough spot for me as far as the total goes, at least full game. Now, first period's a different story here with Boston. We've seen them cash in 7 of the last 10 to the over in the first period. Easily could have been 9 of the last 10. A couple of those games that had just 1 goal. There were tons of chances. Offense going, even with Bergeron consistently in the lineup. Andrew, as you mentioned, the depth, it's there for Boston, but it's being tested because they've had guys have to bounce in and out of the lineup so often. So, yeah, we're seeing these guys now when they're, have to step up and be role players night after night. Obviously, they aren't the best players. That's why they're the deep guys in the back. They're not going to come through every single time, but obviously it's a big game, a rivalry game here. Montreal trying to end their 4-game slide. So if I had to play something, I would slightly lean the over, but I would probably play the over first period and then wait and see what adjusted number we get if you can play live.
Boys, real tough loss for Minnesota last night. They were up 2-1 against the Rangers right up until an empty net, 6-on-5. The Rangers scored, and then they went into overtime and won it. And now Minnesota finds themselves playing New Jersey on a back-to-back, and this New Jersey team, 8-10 on the season. It's not done for them. They are a decent run away from getting themselves back in the playoff chase. And same with Minnesota. Started off slow, have put together some wins of late, and are playing much better hockey. With all that said, I like New Jersey in regulation here. I think it's just a soft spot for many. I think they're going to be gutted over their loss last night, and they're in a back-to-back situation. Andrew, I'll go to you first.
Definitely two teams that haven't really been getting enough credit, the credit they deserve. But the Minnesota Wild, like you said, they're coming off not just one, but two really gutting losses. The overtime one, like I mentioned, against Boston. And then yesterday, not being able to hold that lead. That's tough for a team mentally. And now we're also seeing a goaltender make his debut in the NHL for the Wild. So the price that we're getting is way too good to be true here with the New Jersey Devils. I also want to point over years, we've all really known them to be an under team, but we've actually seen them be involved in some relatively higher scoring games, and at least recently they've been scoring some goals for themselves. So I would look at the over in this one. I think all of us had New Jersey pegged as an over team to start the season off. Recently, it's either, they scored 5 goals against Detroit. They allowed 4 goals against Pittsburgh, allowed 5 goals against Boston, scored 4 against Montreal. I mean, New Jersey is such a sloppy team that I have a tough time picking sides with them, but I feel like you can always count on a pretty good spot for an over. But in this situation here, with a really run down, probably frustrated Minnesota team, with a goaltender making his NHL debut, like you said, the Devils trying to make that push. It's a good spot for the Devils, but I also do like the over in the spot.
Alex, where are you at with this game?
This is a stay away spot for me completely. I mean, you look at, as Andrew mentioned, Capo Kakkonen the starting in net for Minnesota. Decent numbers in Iowa, went 7-2-2 in 10 starts. But this is obviously going to be a tough spot for him. This is a Wild team. Like I said, coming off back-to-back overtime losses. They have yet to win a game in the extra frame so far, 0-7 in that spot. But I can't bet on New Jersey right now either. This team has been disappointing time and time again. It seems like every time I've had a play on them, either they lose or if I fade them, they win. So the complete stay away spot here for me. But we'll be interested to see how Kakkonen plays in net, and we'll see if Minnesota's defense can tighten up and give him some help.
He's Alex B. Smith, Andrew McGinnis with us. Both of these guys could be found at sportsmemo.com, and you can get any one of their packages Thursday to Monday for only $9. Also, Tony Finn, 70% on the NFL season, 34-15. I'm having a nightmare NFL season, and this guy can't lose. I took $100 off of the rest of his NFL and playoffs. If you guys don't use this promo code, I am baffled. I mean, find me a handicapper that's hitting 70% on the NFL season. You look at the Westgate, there's probably 5,000 entrants into the Westgate. The number one handicapper at the Westgate contest is 69%. Tony's doing better than that. So head over to WagerTalk.com, use the promo code TonyNFL. Boys, this game intrigues me, but regretfully, I can't bet it. Dallas is absolutely freaking rolling. Could be the best team in the league right now. And if we go back to the pregame show that we did, I think Alex and Andrew, both of you were really, really high on Dallas. One of you or both of you even liked them to win the Stanley Cup. Here they are on a 7-game winning streak. They're scoring goals too. 5 of their last 6 have gone over the total. They just handed Vegas a beatdown yesterday. And they played Chicago 2 games ago, went to a shootout. Chicago has played them better than anybody else so far. With that said, Chicago's lost 3 in a row. And here's the issue for me. I cannot step in the way of Dallas. But in the same regard, this is just a bad spot for Dallas. I'm going to have to pass on this game. Alex, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, it's the 3rd game in 4 nights for Dallas. Like I said, they played on Saturday. Hawks actually had a 2-1 lead, and the goal was negated on a questionable high stick call. Dylan Strome hit off of the shaft of the stick, not the blade, and it looked like it was a good goal, but the refs overturned it. A couple bad breaks in the shootout, and the Stars ended up getting that second point. So the Hawks are definitely going to be hungry to try and get revenge here. There's a rapid revenge spot. I would assume Robin Lehner would play in that again. Him and Anton Khudobin, that was a masterclass performance by both goalies. 39 shots for the Hawks, 41 shots for Dallas in that game to stay 1-1 after regulation. Was pretty good. Like you mentioned, the Hawks have played the Stars tough. They've won 3 of the last 5 meetings against them at home and at even money price. I like the Hawks here tonight.
Andrew McGinnis?
I think we're seeing Corey Crawford in nets tonight for the Hawks, and I really wanted to see Robin Leonard because I saw an interview with him about how upset and disappointed he is with NHL with the whole shootouts thing. He hates shootouts. He pretty much was saying that shootouts are for the fans. It's not really a true test of skill. It's not fair for goaltenders, so on and so forth. And he was pretty pissed off.
It's
about
not fair to
loss.
goaltenders.
He said
just stop for a second.
Shootouts are for the fans, he said, and this isn't me saying it, Prez.
I know, but I just want to say to him, has he ever seen a soccer shootout? I mean, you want to talk unfair for goaltenders? A goaltender literally just guesses a way to dive and hopes the ball hits him in soccer. And there's a lot of sports like this. You want to talk about unfair? Robin Leonard should check out how the Cricket World Cup Championship game was decided to talk about unfair. What a whiny little... Anyway, you can continue now.
I'm just saying I wish I could have seen him in nets again to try and get that revenge, but I pretty much have the same thoughts as you. Dallas has been on an outstanding streak right now. You look at the start to the season that they had, everybody was like, holy crap, this team isn't meeting the expectations. I bet on them a few times and lost. Then I kind of got off that train. Now they're hot again. So it's the same thing that you said, Prez. I don't like to be a trend better, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to step in front of them right now. Probably a better spot for Chicago, but I can't step in front of Dallas right now. I'm going to grab an over in this game as a lean, but, nothing really too official for me. Total's gone over in 5 of the last 6 for Dallas against West Coast opponents, and Chicago is getting scored on left and right. They're all over the place, so I would lean to the over, but no official play for me here.
Alex B. Smith?
Yeah, I already talked about this one. I like the Hawks in this.
Yeah, okay, I forgot, dude. I forgot. I'm tired. I'm still reeling over Robin Lerner's freaking whiny little girl. No offense, Kathy. We've got a great listener, Kathy, and I just called Robin Lerner a girl. So, Kathy, my humble apologies. Namaste. Why the hell isn't Robin Leonard playing most of the games for Chicago, Alex?
Because Corey Crawford's been absolutely sensational in some of the starts he's gotten. And this is exactly what the franchise wanted right now. They wanted to have a 1A, 1B system with Lehner and Corey Crawford. I mean, Crawford, obviously, his issues, it wasn't that he was playing horrible just completely as if he's not like a Jonathan Quick situation where he's lost his talent. This is a guy who was going with a lot of injuries, dealing with a lot of things with his concussions and so forth. And now that he seems to be healthy for the first time in years, he's getting back to at least close to the moderate level of goaltending that we've seen from him throughout his career. So the 1A, 1B system, it's kind of to use that terrible NBA term, load management. But at least keep these guys balanced, keep these guys fresh, and as things move on, should the Hawks find their way back into the playoff race possibly, then one of these two guys will have to take the reins and move forward.
Speaking of load management, if Kawhi Leonard does not play tonight, you guys won't hear from me for a couple days. Just saying.
Yeah, I had some load management right before the show begun. I'm the Prez. He's Alex B. Smith and Andrew McGinnis. This is Puck Time. A real pleasure to do the show with both of you boys. What's going on tomorrow? The two of you? Yeah, the two of you. Are you good for tomorrow?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
I'm back.
No Puck Time on Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Make sure to comment and have an incredible Thanksgiving weekend. We'll speak to you guys later.
Later, y'all.